Mr. Chair, and members of the committee for providing us the opportunity to offer our thoughts on the study of this committee on Bill C-20. My name is Nadia Hassan, and I'm a PhD by training and the COO of the National Council of Canadian Muslims. I'm joined today by Fatima Abdallah, who I will be sharing time with, as a communications coordinator for the Council. I would also like to acknowledge the work of our summer students, Zaina and Hesna, who have significantly helped in the preparation of the submissions that we'll present before you today. At the outset, I just want to say that we at the National Council of Canadian Muslims have been advocating for many years for CBSA oversight legislation. NCCM has heard countless stories over the last 2 decades about the challenges that Muslims face at the border. That is why one of our key battles over the last 2 decades has been in calling for oversight over the Canada Border Service Agency. While we support the passage of this bill, we would like to see 3 key amendments, without which we have grave concerns that the impact of this bill will be very limited first step, rather than the kind of comprehensive reform we need to see now. Firstly, we suggest that the definition of national security in C-20 needs further clarification. We believe the current language of the bill means that there could be an unforeseen consequence arising from Section 31, subsection 2. As the bill is currently drafted, this clause suggests that all national security matters should be referred to the National Security and Intelligence Review Agency, or NCCM. And let me give you an example. There's a well-publicized case around an Egyptian human rights activist, Abdulrahman Al-Mahdi, who was deemed a security threat by a CBSA officer in Vancouver, where he was also subjected to detention and was not given medical support that he needed. For example, they took away his hearing aids. If CBSA oversight legislation requires Mr. Al-Mahdi to still have to go to NCCM, we know that it would take years until Abdulrahman receives a review of the alleged impugned conduct. More importantly, it would mean that for Mr. Al-Mahdi and for other Muslims who are allegedly unfairly targeted by CBSA agents for supposed, in quote-unquote, national security reasons, Bill C-20 does not help them at all get appropriate oversight and would simply add to the administrative burden NCCM currently faces. We agree with other voices before you that the Commission should have jurisdiction to conduct reviews of activities that are in relation to national security in certain cases. We recommend, amongst other potential solutions, that an amendment to Section 31 be made to clarify that only complaints that require complex, top-secret clearance or documentation go to NCCM, whilst all other complaints around national security complaints arising from alleged CBSA misconduct should be dealt with by the Commission. Secondly, we recommend that clear timelines are enshrined. As you have heard from a number of other colleagues, there should be strict timelines for the CBSA and the Commission to investigate and report on complaints. Secondly, on the same point regarding concern of delayed review, our concern is that without the installation of a set timeline in legislation, this new oversight body could take a lot of time to process and initiate reviews. We recommend an amendment to Section 8, subsection 1, that requires a timeline of 3 months for the oversight body to deal with the first step of a review process for the complaint, rather than leaving it to the Commission and the RCMP to establish the time limits. I'll turn it over to my colleague Fatima.
Finally, although the bill identifies the need to protect against unreasonable searches and seizures, we recommend a zero tolerance for racial discrimination provision. We have seen a number of Muslim clients mistreated with Islamophobic or racist conduct by the CBSA, whose misconduct has historically gone unchecked. Recently, research conducted in March 2020 found that over 75% of CBSA officers surveyed said they witnessed a colleague discriminating against travelers based on their national or ethnic origin. To put it in clearer terms, we are aware that in one instance, a CBSA officer cited sources in a decision that drew on well-known Islamophobes like Daniel Pipes, and in one instance cited information that linked to hateful accusations leveled against NCCM and other prominent Canadian Muslim organizations. To the best of our knowledge, the CBSA has never publicly apologized for relying on such nonsense. As such, considering the history of the CBSA and the clear presence of Islamophobic prejudice in its work culture, a zero tolerance for hate clause should be instituted. Thank you. I also note in closing that we will expand significantly on the submissions before you today in a follow-up brief to be submitted. Subject to your questions, that concludes our submissions.
Thank you.